Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us on 13 Now on this Wednesday, May 31st. It's a big day here in the capital region. We have live team coverage again in Schoharie for the Schoharie Limo trial. Nauman Hussain, the operator of the limo company, has been sentenced today. And I want to bring in my colleague, Sabrina Dami. You were there in the courtroom. Again, Nauman Hussain has been convicted of 20 counts of manslaughter for the crash of that limo in 2018. So just kind of tell us what happened today in the courtroom.
Yeah, it was very emotional, Tessa. As with all sentencings, victim impact statements are allowed. And in this case, we had 20 victims. And so there were several statements given from families and loved ones of the victims. We heard from 9 different family members talking about their loved ones, the loss that they endure, the tragedy, how it still affects them to this day, how they still go through this nightmare that they can't wake up from, and how they wanted to have some words for Nauman Hussain. They wanted to directly say to him that you stole something from us, and today is our opportunity to speak to you about that. It was about an hour and a half of victim impact statements, and then Nauman Hussain was sentenced by Judge Peter Lynch to 5 to 15 years behind bars, a minimum of 5 years, a maximum of 15 years. He was let out of the courtroom. He was in an orange jumpsuit, put right into a Schoharie County Sheriff's deputy's vehicle, taken right to the Schoharie County Jail. We heard from a lot of these family members outside of court as well. So we are working on putting some of that sound together for you to bring you that part of the story. We also heard from the defense attorney and the district attorney, the special prosecutor who helped out with this case. We know that the defense attorney has already started the process of filing the notice for appeal, so that next step will occur. But the families today feel lighter, they say to us. They feel like a weight has been lifted as this chapter can be closed. And I actually was just with all of the family members, Tessa, at the memorial, which is about 2.8 miles to be exact from the Schoharie County Courthouse. All of the family members gathered there. They released purple balloons at the memorial into the sky as a way to mark the end of this chapter, and also just to come together and celebrate their loved ones 4.5 years after this tragedy. And there is a new addition to the memorial. It was just added this morning: the name and the footprints of the man who was driving that limo. Up until now, up until today, there were 19 stones with names and footprints on them as part of this memorial. The 20th stone has now been complete, and it was something that all of the families decided together with the driver of that limo, with his family, that it's time to finally add that. So a lot of coverage to bring to you starting live at 4. And we have, Tessa, as you noted, team coverage with a lot of crews here right outside the Schoharie County Courthouse.
And I want to ask you too, Sabrina, I saw that the brother and the girlfriend of Nauman Hussain, there was pictures of them walking to the courtroom this morning. Did they say anything at all, or what were their emotions like in the courtroom?
Well, his girlfriend, fiance, I believe now, has been very emotional inside the courtroom. And she was once again very emotional today, as a lot of the statements were directed right at her fiance. And so there were a lot of tears from her end, but they did not speak. Nauman Hussain did not speak. He was given the opportunity. His attorney tells us he instructed him not to speak as part of the appeal process, as to not jeopardize anything legally on their end. But the families did say, we wanted to hear something from him. We wanted to hear some kind of apologies, some kind of taking responsibility for the loss of their loved ones. And that did not happen today.
All right. Well, Sabrina, thank you so much. I'll let you get back to it. Continue writing for our show starting at live at 4, and we'll see you then.
Okay. Thank you, Tessa.
And I also want to bring in my colleague, Stella Porter. Again, she's part of our team coverage today. Stella, you were probably in that courtroom when the sentencing happened. Sabrina touched on some of the families. So tell me what you've been seeing out here today. I mean, it's a lot to take in, even as a reporter, just to see all the emotions from both sides, from the families as well as the family of Nauman Hussain.
Yeah, Tessa, I was kind of stationed outside the courthouse today talking to families as they came out from the reading of those impact statements and then the sentencing. And really, most of them first just expressed their gratitude that this even happened, that this trial was even able to happen because of that decision by Judge Lynch months ago to overturn the plea agreement. The family said, they wish they could know right now how long Nauman Hussain will serve. I think you're taking a look at him there at the initial trial when he was convicted. He, just saying they wish they could know exactly how this will play out. But right now, this chapter for now is closed, like Sabrina said, and they feel like justice is beginning to take shape, though, several of them talking about how they had just met with the FBI, that the Saratoga County DA is now looking at Mavis. So lots of loose ends. I think they feel like even though they can move past this, knowing that this, I think in many of their minds, is the best outcome, there's still some loose ends for these families.
Yeah, for sure. And I know that nothing is ever going to right the wrongs for these families because their loved ones are dead. But I guess for them, it's a weight lifted off of their shoulder now that this is over. They can finally move on from this chapter in their life.
Right. And I think they never thought that they'd get to this point. Just, Kevin, his son Patrick was killed. He talked about how they were inside the Schoharie years ago thinking that community service, and go from that 2 years ago to this, just night and day with the outcomes.
All right. Well, Stella, thank you so much. You're also going to join us on more of our team coverage starting out live at 4 on News Channel 13. So we'll see you then.
Thanks, Tessa.
All right. And so again, the Schoharie Limo trial, Nauman Hussain, the operator of the limo company, sentenced to 5 to 15 years. He was convicted 2 weeks ago of 20 counts of manslaughter for all the deaths of the 20 people who were killed in that limo crash in Schoharie in 2018. Bringing you live team coverage. As you saw, Sabrina Dami is there. Stella Porter is there. Dan Levy is also going to be back in the courtroom and is live for us with details, as well as Mark Mulholland. We have a whole crew out there making sure we give you all the latest details on this. Moving on now, we have a follow-up to the Michael Darling case. As you know, Michael Darling is the man that was on the run from his Gloversville home. This is Michael Darling when he found out that he was going to be charged for the death of his wife, Christine Darling. She died in 2019 from a gunshot wound. And police and the sheriff's office believe that Darling is the one who killed her. They found him 24 hours after he went on the run in a wooded area in Mayfield in Riceville Road. Now we're learning that from court documents, after he was arraigned yesterday, that he used a rifle. And, quote, in the court documents, it says, quote, he did cause the death of Christine Darling by a gunshot wound. And initially, when she died in 2019, Michael Darling called the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office 911 dispatch center, and he said that his estranged wife died by a suicide. That's why he's also being charged with tampering with evidence, because the documents also say that he, quote, knowingly prepared a physical evidence by staging the crime scene to appear as a suicide attempt. So again, Michael Darling is the man that is being charged for his wife's murder in 2019 in the Amsterdam area. He is being charged with second-degree murder, also being charged with tampering with evidence. And then there's another charge against him, the criminal possession of a weapon as well, because he did use a rifle to shoot and kill his wife, allegedly, according to the documents. We're going to have more details on what we found in those documents. I will have the report starting at live at 4, and we'll also have the Schoharie Limo trial update as well. So stick with News Channel 13 for all the updates. Have a great day, everyone.